So this is a fitted female pants trouser. Sorry, the chalk I have is blue color, so please just watch as I do this. I've already made my markings. The hip I'm working with is 43. So if 43, to get your crotch measurement, you just need to divide your hip by 4. Okay, 43 divided by 4 is giving me 10.75. so this is my starting point. What I did was just to measure the 10.75 from my starting point directly. I did not go off by the band, please take note. I just measured the 10.75 from my starting point. Can you see? I have 10.75 here. That is my hip divided by 4, and that is going to be my crotch line, my crotch depth measurement. Okay, I'm using exactly that because it's a fitted pant. If it's like a palazzo or a free pant, you can add 1 inch to your hip divided by 4. Okay, so this is my crotch line. So from my starting point, which is my waistline, I measured my waist to hip as well. So if you want to measure your waist to hip now, you're going to go off by the inches that you want to use for your band. For me, I like to use 1.5 inches, so you can see that I'm going off by the 1.5 inches. So if you are marking your crotch depth, you start from the starting point, but if you are marking your waist to hip, you go off by your whatever it is you're using for your band. Please take note of that. So from there now, I'm going to mark my knee length, okay, which is 22 inches for me, and then from there I'm going to mark my full length. So the full trouser length is 39 inches, and then I added 2 inches for my seam, for my hemming allowance. So those are the lines that we have here. So now the next thing I'm going to do now is to mark my hip divided by 4 plus ½ inch seam allowance plus ½ inch ease allowance. So that's plus 1 extra 1 inch. So hip divided by 4 is 10.75 plus 1 inch is 11.75. So from here I'm going to mark 11.75. 11.75. I'm going to mark that here, and then I'll also mark it on my waistline. 11.75. So once I mark it, I'm going to take my straight ruler and then connect it. So that's going to be the line for my crotch curve. I'm going to connect that from your waist all the way to your crotch depth, that 10.75 line. So once this is done, the next thing is for me to shape the side. So to shape the side, you are going to divide your waist by 4. The waist I'm working with is 33. 33 divided by 4 is 8.25. So I'm going to add ½ an inch is allowance, ½ an inch seam allowance with that. So that's 1 inch plus 8.25 is 9.25. So here I'm going to mark the 9.25, which is here. So once I mark the 9.25 there, I'm going to grab my ruler and then connect so that I can have my hip curve shape. So you're going to connect that to your hip line, not your crotch line. So you place your curved ruler like this, and then you're going to go ahead and connect. So you can see what we have there. So now if you're going to be adding that to yours, then you need to add your 1 inch for that, and then you connect. Then you're going to take your that here, but I'm not adding that to mine. So now to create our crotch curve, what you need to do is divide your hip measurements again. You're going to divide your hip measurements by 16. That's for your crotch extension. 43 by 16 is giving me 2.68. So that's around 2.7. So I'm going to, from where my hip line stop, which is here, I'm going to extend by 2.7. Okay, I'm going to extend it by 2.7, and then I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to get the angle here. Okay, so I'll just place my ruler. I have this curve that just divides your angle for you, so I'm going to place it here and then mark where it divides for me. So if you don't have this, what you can do, if you don't have this curve to divide this for you, what you can do is just to come to this side, you mark 1 inch, come to this side, you mark 1 inch, then you curve. So once you have that center line, There I'm going to come up by 1 inch like this, and then I'll use my curve ruler to create my crotch curve. The fabric has a lot of colors on it, so this is still the best chalk I could use. Okay, so can you see our crotch curve there? So once you are done with that, the next thing is to get your gator line. This is a fitted pant, so for that you're going to be sharing the measurements so that it can fit well. So to get your gator line, you're going to mark what you have from this point on your thigh line. That's your crotch line. You're going to mark what you have there. I have 14.5. So that 14.5, you're going to divide it into 2, and then you measure it from your crotch line all the way to the hem. So from here now, I'll measure 14.5 divided by 2. So I have 7.25. So I'll measure 7.25 here. I'll come to my knee line. I'll measure 7.25 as well. And then you do the same thing all the way to the hem. You measure the 7.25. So once you measure it, you are going to grab your ruler, and then you connect that to form a straight line. So I'm trying to mark 7.25 in another place so that it will be easy for me to join. So this center line now becomes your gator line, and that is where you're going to be taking the subsequent measurements. So now for my knee, my round knee is 20 inches. You fold your knee and take the measurement there. So that 20 inches, I'm going to divide it into 2, and then I'll have 10 for front and 10 for back. So that 10 inches, you're not going to take it from here. That's why we have our gator line. You're going to divide the 10 inches into 2, and then you centralize it on the gator line. So you're going to mark 5 inches on this side, and then you're going to mark 5 inches on this side as well to make up the 10 inches. So we'll go over to the floor length. That's your round ankle. So there you measure that as well. What I have for mine is 16. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. So that 8, we're going to centralize it as well. So I'm going to place it on my gator line and mark 4 inches towards the right and 4 inches towards the left. So I've marked that 4 inches to this side and 4 inches to this side. So I'm changing the chalk to yellow to see if we can have something better. So now, to have my pencil effect, for me, from my hem, I like to come up by 5 inches from the hem. I'm going to mark 4 to 5 inches upward like this. Okay, and then I'm going to make a straight line here. So it seems the yellow chalk is better. So I'm going to make a straight line there, and then I'm going to repeat the measurement I took on the ankle. So that's 4 inches here and 4 inches on the other side as well. So that way I will have it straight from that part, and then I'm going to go ahead and connect it all the way down like this, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so the next thing now is to go ahead to connect the side. So I'm going to connect from my crotch to my knee. Can you see I'm placing my curve? So you're going to connect from your crotch to your knee like this, and then from your knee you're going to connect to your ankle like this. Okay, so that side is done. So I'm going to come over to this side as well. I'm going to connect from my crotch line all the way to my knee. Okay, and then from my knee I'm going to connect to my ankle as well. Okay, so this is what we have. By the time we cut it out, it's going to show better. This is a very colorful fabric, so the chalks are not really showing well on it. So this is the pattern that we have there. So the last thing I'm going to do, remember I said I don't use that for mine, so for a little bit of fit there on this center line here, on the waistline towards the center area, remember this is the side. I'm going to come down from the waist. I'm going to come down by 0.75 to 1 inch, and then I'm going to reconnect that to the side. Okay, so you want to add allowance for joining your band, you can now go ahead and add your ½ inch allowance, and then you go ahead to cut out your pant. So just watch as I'm cutting so that you know the part that we are cutting out. So here now, this is the waist. Okay, so for my side I'm going to cut the hem first, and then from there I'm going to go ahead and cut the side. So I'm not really adding so much allowance to the front, I just added ½ inch. So when we get to the back, I'm going to be adding all the extra allowance I want to add. Okay, so here we're going to cut your hip curve shape. So this is what we have. I'm just going to open it up on this side. So the side is cut now. I'm going to go over to the center as well, and then just cut following the line that I created. Can you see? So now you go ahead and cut your crotch curve. Okay, so this is what we have. This is what the front of the pants, of the fitted pants, this is what the front looks like. So we are going to use the front to cut the back. So for the back, I have placed the front on the back, and we're just going to be doing few adjustments. So on the crotch line here, I'm going to extend the crotch. I'm going to extend the crotch by 1.5 inches here, and then on this crotch curve area as well, I'm going to extend it by 1.5 inches from where the front stops. This is where the front stops. So from where the front stops, I'm going to be extending that by 1.5 inches as well. I'm going to mark 1.5 inches here, and then I'm going to mark the 1.5 inches all the way to the hem. So once you mark the 1.5 inches to your hem, you're going to connect it. So for the bum rise, from where the front stops, I'm going to come up by 1 inch. Okay, and then here on the side I'll add 1 inch to it. I'm going to be putting a zipper at the center back. Okay, so for that I'm adding extra 1 inch. That's the 1 inch I'm marking now. So this 1 inch, I'm going to mark it upwards like this, so that I can connect for my bum rise. So I'm going to connect that to the side, because the side have to be the same, because I'm going to be joining it together. So now you're going to reconnect your crotch. So I'll place my ruler like this and connect, and then I'll replace it to complete my curve. And then here I'm going to mark the 1.5 inches that I marked. I'm going to join everything to the hem. So that is the only difference we're going to be doing to the back. The side is going to remain exactly the same, just like we have in front. So now I'm going to go ahead and cut the back out as well. So you grab your scissors and then you cut. If you are making a pants for someone with a bigger bum, for your bum rise you can go as high as 2 inches upward to accommodate the person's big bum. So here we're going to cut this following the line that I marked, and then we can see that we have added all the allowance that we need to add to the back. So this is what it looks like. Once you have your front, the back is going to be easier for you. So this is what the pattern looks like. The next thing is to go ahead and join them together. But for the front, I'm going to be putting a slant pocket, so I'll go ahead and create that now. We have several tutorials on that already on the channel, so if you don't know how to, you can check them out. I'm going to fix the slant pocket to the front, as you can see. So this is the pocket. Can you see? This is the back of the pocket. So this is for the front left, and this is the other side for the front. So now that we have fixed our pockets, the next thing is to go ahead and join the pants. So for me, the easy way that I join my pants is to take the legs side by side. So I'm going to take the front left and back left together. I'll align it like this, right side facing right side. Can you see? Make sure that your side matches, your center matches. So once I take it like this, I'm going to go ahead and join the side and also join the inseam like this. Okay, you're going to join your side, you join your inseam, leaving the crotch curve area open. So you take the other side as well. You are going to lay the front and back on each other, then you join it on the side and also join the inseam. I'll do that now. I have gone ahead to do that. You can see I sew it on the inseam and the out seam for each of the legs. So you're going to turn it to the right side, and then you will see that you have the each legs of your pants. So the last thing you're going to do now is to go ahead and match the crotch area together, front against the front and back against the back. Okay, can you see? This is my pocket, so this is the front. So I'm going to match the under arm like this. You can open your seam and then you sew the front to the front, and then you sew the back crotch to the back crotch as well, so that you have your trouser together. Then you can now measure the waist to cut out the band. Once you are done sewing everything, this is what you will have. You can see I have neatly ironed mine. So here I fixed my zipper to the back, just like I explained. And then if you see the inside, you can see that I have gone ahead to weave every part of it so that it can be neat, because it is not light. So you can see that it is neatly weaved. So just look at your thread, and then you fix your zipper, sew your band, and your pant is done. So this is what it looks like in full view. This is the band, this is the pocket area.